Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Shua Allegra, the founder of Grace and Hope Consulting, where we empower people to achieve mental and emotional wellness, live the full potential, reach their full potential, and live fulfilling lives. So today I have another good friend of mine. Some of you will recognize her. She's been on the show. She's been on my platform many times because I love her as an individual. I love her as a woman. I love her as a sister. I love her as a colleague and all the work that she does. So I keep inviting her back. And she keeps saying yes, so it works. So Abby, do you want to take a minute and just introduce yourself and let people know who you are and what you do?
Hello, everyone. And Shu, you're so sweet. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. My name is Ibinye Oshibodo Anyali. Everybody calls me Ivy. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I also am a relationship coach.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. So you're probably wondering, okay, she has Abby back. What are they going to be talking about today? So first of all, one thing maybe that you might not know, yes, she's a licensed marriage and family therapist. She's a relationship coach, but she also has some training and expertise when it comes to insomnia. So that's why I brought her here today because there's so many. Can't tell you so many people that I work with, the people that I know, people in my own family as well who struggle with sleep issues. So first of all, I wanted if you just mind us like, how did you even get into the insomnia? People might be wondering what's the connection,
Right.
between your marriage and family counseling, the relationship stuff to now insomnia. Like, how did you even breach that niche?
Yes. So that's something that people don't know, that your therapist could potentially be able to help you sleep. Because as a marriage and family therapist, we work on mental health as a whole. And of course, your sleep affects your mental health. How I got into this insomnia is that one of the things that I do is I help women who struggle with anxiety be able to overcome anxiety so that they can live full lives. And a lot of the women I was working with struggled with insomnia. They just could not sleep. And I had tried every possible technique that I knew, and nothing was working for the sleep piece. The anxiety would be able to go away, but the sleep won't go away. And another colleague of mine started talking about how she was helping veterans sleep, and my ears perked up. I was like, what? And so then I got this additional training, and it really works. And on top of that, I do have family members just like you who didn't sleep. And I just thought insomnia was one of those things you had to suffer through, like, well, it's just a hereditary thing. And if your mom didn't sleep, then you're not going to be able to sleep. But I really learned quickly that is not true. You can actually get rid of insomnia.
Yes. So we'll dig into that in a little bit, but before we get there, can you even just clarify for people what insomnia is? Because sometimes I might have a really hard time sleeping one night, but it's not really insomnia, right? It might be just a day here or there, and that's not insomnia. Or maybe I do have sleep issues. There's many sleep disorders, and
Yes.
insomnia is just one of them. So if you want to just maybe give us a quick definition, so people know which context we're talking about.
Okay, so if we want to get technical here, if you're talking about chronic insomnia, the definition is difficulty falling asleep and or staying asleep 3 days a week for 3 months, right? There is acute insomnia where, let's say, you're sleeping in a strange environment and so the bed is not comfortable and so you didn't sleep for 2 nights. Or maybe you just had a baby and your body is sore and so you're not sleeping. Or you just had surgery and you're not sleeping. Or you're stressed out about the presentation you have tomorrow and so you're not sleeping. That's acute insomnia. That will typically go away after the event is over, after your body has healed, after the presentation is over, after you're back to your own bed, after there's no more construction outside. That will resolve itself. But for chronic insomnia, it just feels like no matter what you do, you just are not sleeping, and it's happening for months, at least 3 months at a time. Then that is when you need to call me.
Yeah. But I think too, just for people listening, yes, call her if you have that chronic insomnia. But even the acute one, it's like you can't function if you're not sleeping. Like we all know, our brains, our body needs that time to, to refresh itself, if you want, and so refresh and reset itself. So when you don't have that sleep, it's an issue. It impacts everything. And speaking of relationships, right? If you don't sleep, you might not be the next person to be around. Might be short
Yes,
tempered. You
that's
might be, grouchy. You might just, not have the patience that you have when you feel rested. So anyway, so I can just imagine of all the stories probably that you hear when it comes to
right.
relationship issue that might be also coming because of the lack of sleep. So don't wait until it's
Yes,
3 months.
absolutely.
You can come now and reach out to IB and talk about this.
Yes.
So let's get into some of those myths that people think about. Oh yeah, my mom had it, so it runs in our family. I have to take, I have to take all these pills, the sleeping pills,
Mhm.
especially a lot of chemicals. Like I'm all about all natural stuff, but we'll get into that. But especially like chemical stuff to get into like treating the insomnia. And like
Yes.
can you just kind of debunk some of those things? Because I think sometimes we do ourselves a disservice without knowing it just because we're not well informed.
Yes. The number one myth that I hear all the time is I have to be on sleeping pills or sleep aids for insomnia to go away. So when people come to me, that's the first thing that they say. Are you going to give me pills? Please don't give me any pills. And then I say, I can't even give you pills. I'm not a
I can't prescribe anything, right?
you do not have to take pills to get rid of insomnia because those sleeping pills don't cure your insomnia. If it cured your insomnia, it means you would be taking them for, let's say, 5 days. And by the sixth day, you wouldn't need the pill again. But the fact that you're having to take these pills for years shows that the insomnia has not gone away. It's just a band-aid on a big, big problem. Another myth that I hear is that it runs in my family. Insomnia runs in my family. My dad had it, my mom had it, my grandma had it, my brothers and sisters have it. Well, therefore I have it, and so I'm just going to have to grin and bear it. That is not true. Even if everyone you know has insomnia, there can still be a solution for your insomnia.
Mm.
Another one is people say, well, I just lay in bed for hours and hours and hours and I try and force myself to sleep. People think you have to force yourself to sleep to get rid of insomnia. It's so funny because the solution for insomnia is actually quite easy. My clients are like,
That's
that's it.
it.
That's it. This is not painful at all. I'm like, no, it was never supposed to be painful. Why should your life be painful? You don't have to be laying in bed for hours and hours and hours. You also don't have to change your life and your schedule drastically. And that's another thing clients beg me. They say, well, am I going to have to make huge changes in my life? And is it going to upset my family? And is it going to mess with my job? And no, 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 no. You don't have to make huge, drastic changes. And I think the thing is, people say insomnia has no cure, insomnia has no solution. That is
Yeah.
not true. That is not true at all. There are many different, it's little changes that you make all at the same time that actually become this big thing that teaches your body how to sleep. The thing about insomnia is that your body has learned how not to sleep. So
Mm.
then it's a process of retraining your body to calm down, relax, and shut down. And of course, because I'm a therapist, I do talk about anxiety and relationships and all of the things that could be contributing to
Mm-hmm.
insomnia. Because if your relationship is struggling, of course, that could affect your sleep as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out. And so that's into my next question. Some of the causes of insomnia. So yeah, if I'm struggling, in my relationship is struggling, if I'm having issues at work, if I'm
Yeah.
afraid I might lose my job,
Yeah.
and not always for performance, but sometimes just the company's struggling, and you never
Yes.
know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or there's a family member who's sick in the hospital, and like all those things like stress, can definitely affect our sleep. But what are some other maybe cause of insomnia that people might not always think of? Like stress usually comes up like when people like, yeah, if I'm stressed out, it's hard for your body to relax or it's hard for you to sleep. But what are
Mm-hmm.
some maybe some hidden causes of
Yes.
insomnia that people need to know about?
One of them is a vitamin D deficiency. Sometimes we're not getting enough sunlight, and vitamin D actually helps with the regulation of your sleep cycle, your internal body clock. So get outside in the sun if you can, or talk to your doctor, let them run some labs and see what your vitamin D levels are looking like. Sometimes hormonal imbalances could also be a thing. Estrogen plays a part in sleep, or if you're pregnant, if you're going through menopause or premenopause, or sometimes you're not even going through menopause, but
Your
you're
hormone, yeah.
off.
Being
So
a
the
woman is tough.
oh yes, oh a lot of hormonal stuff. So it's very important. I always say, let's first of all talk about the physical part of your body. Even your diet and nutrition can affect the way that you sleep. People
Yeah.
who have very high sugar diets Sometimes because sugar just keeps you up and it's a stimulant. And sometimes some people are just taking in too much sugar and their bodies just cannot calm down. Or if you're taking in foods that you're allergic to, that could definitely affect you because your tummy is upset and you just don't feel well. Of course, there's the anxiety and the depression and stress. Sometimes it's your sleep environment. Your bedroom is not conducive for sleep. You know, it looks bad or it's cluttered. Your sheets are uncomfortable. Whatever you're wearing to sleep is uncomfortable. You're spending too much time in bed. I know that's the one thing that people fight me on. They say, what do you mean I'm spending too much time in bed? I only sleep 4 hours every night. I'm not spending too much time in bed. But by the time we look through everything, then I realize you're spending too much time in bed, and that can actually affect the way that you sleep. Sleeping in all the time can also affect the way that you sleep. Even if you're just laying in bed with your eyes wide open, that idea of spending too much time in the bed, because what you're doing is you're teaching your body how to stay awake in bed as opposed to how to fall asleep in bed. Good sleepers don't actually spend a whole lot of time in bed. They sleep in the bed, and then when they're awake, they leave the bedroom and they go and they do their things. But people with insomnia, I find that they spend so much time thinking about the bed, living in the bed, working in the bed. Everything is just linked to the bed. So cut yourself away from the bed.
Yeah, except to break up with your bed, right?
Your bed.
And that might be a perfect solution for insomnia. You know, like what? You know, I need
Right.
to be in my bed to sleep. But it's
Right.
so true. Like we create these patterns, and you know, and I know, you know, a little bit of what you know how you do with how not the treatment per se,
Right.
but the framework of it, you know, and so I'll let you explain that a little bit. But with that in mind, I find that even with what I do, it's like we create these patterns in our life, these routines first that become these chronic patterns, that
Yes.
become patterns that causes these chronic issues in our lives. Right. So if
Absolutely.
my routine is like I like being sitting in bed, I work in the especially for the pandemic. I mean, come on, we all got too comfortable, right? It's like and myself included. I know I'm like, yeah, before I was, you know, sometimes stuck in bed because I was
Mhm.
physically not well.
Right.
But then even when I was well, just like, well, I got up, I got my shower, I'm dressed, like, yeah, my bed is comfy. I love my new mattress. Like, you know,
Of
come
course.
on, I spend money on this mattress so I can sleep well. So then, but then I'm sitting there, you know, doing my session notes. I'm sitting there
Yes.
writing my books, and I'm like,
Yes.
it's not working.
It's
So
not
yeah,
working.
I had to literally break up with my bed, and it was a painful breakup because
It is.
my desk is actually when I'm home, my desk is in my bedroom because
Right.
downstairs with the kids is just too much.
Of
And
course.
so they have actually their second living room, we transform it to their classroom. So kids do schoolwork there. And
Right.
I cannot always work in the same room as them. So we don't do sessions. So long
Of course.
story short, so I have like a workstation, if you want, in my room. So
Right.
I'm seeing my bed from a distance. I'm like, yeah, I cannot. You and I have to stay separated, bro. Next
Separate from
time,
that bed. Even though your mattress is comfy, separate from the bed.
separate. Yeah, and it makes a difference. Like when I get to like when you finally get to bed, it's like, oh yeah, it's time to sleep. You
Yeah.
know. So it's a lot about training our brain. So that takes me again, like, you know, to what I was saying. Some of the people might be wondering, okay, all the things that sound good. So what
Mhm.
do you do that's different than the typical, you know, the regular what people are used to for
Right.
insomnia treatment?
Right. So the first thing that I start with is the science of sleep. I really teach you how your sleep wake system works. So it's very science based, right? So I always tell my clients, by the time I'm done with you, and by the way, it's only 5 to 6 sessions. It's not even very long at all. In just a few weeks, you're sleeping like
We don't like lifetime stuff, you know. Give you the skills and you go live your life.
yeah. Because you need to sleep now. So why am I going to see you for a whole year? You need to sleep right now. So we learn about the science of sleep and how that works so that you understand what to do to maintain that good sleep cycle. And then I also have you fill out a sleep diary because it's important to be able to track. I want to see your habits when you're sleeping, when you're waking up, how many times you're actually falling asleep. The interesting thing is that most people underestimate the amount of time that they're sleeping. So a lot of people will say, well, I only sleep 4 hours, but when we actually look at it, you're
Mm-hmm.
sleeping 5.5 hours. Or some people come to me and they say, I have insomnia, but they're actually sleeping 7 hours. It's just that their sleep is not restful. So then we also talk about that. We also talk about your relationship with sleep because a lot of times insomnia is in the mind. It's anxiety based
Mm-hmm.
a lot of time. So you've already told yourself, I am not a good sleeper. I'm not going to sleep tonight. You're worried about sleep. What is that doing? That's increasing your anxiety and
Yes,
your stress
yes.
level. You don't know that you're anxious about sleep. You don't know that you're stressed, but your body knows. Your body is picking up on it. And your body is not designed right? We were not created to be shutting down under stress. It's a defense mechanism. When you're under stress, your body gets more alert so that you can run away from the stress or you can fight if you need to. But if you're constantly under stress, then it's like your body is constantly fighting, and that is not going to be conducive for sleep at all. And then we also talk about your sleep schedule. So then after I go through all of that, we will actually decide a good sleep time and a good wake up time for you, because that is important. That specific schedule. Many people, once they pass 18 and they move out of their parents' homes, they don't have a wake up time or sleep time anymore. They think
Even
that's
before, like, just
even
my
before
teenagers, it's like
teenager.
2 a.m. My daughter's texting me. I'm like, what in the world? Like, is it an emergency? The house is on fire? It's, like, it's 2 a.m. Like, trying to take your phone away. Seriously.
That's how it is, you know? And so your body has no idea when it's supposed to wake up and when it's supposed to sleep. So that schedule is so erratic. So then I help you actually get a good schedule that actually works for you. So I'm not saying to you, everybody must go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6. Absolutely not. We talk about your lifestyle. We talk about your work. We talk about what's going on in your life. If there's any important dates coming up, and then we'll actually, create a schedule that is working for you. And then I also talk about anxiety reduction techniques. So I walk my clients through that. And we talk about some of the relation. And that's the greatest part about being a therapist, is that I can work on all of the things that are causing you stress. We talk about your sleep environment, your home environment, and all of those dynamics, creating a home environment and a sleep environment that actually works for you. The sights and the sounds and the smells and the textures and all of those things. Light. We talk about activities that you can do that will promote sleep. And I go through what you're doing in your life, what your daily activities look like, and the things that might not work for you. What are you eating that might not work for you? What are you saying and doing, and who are you hanging out with that is causing you stress and that is not working for you? So it's all these little tiny tweaks. You're not doing a drastic change on your lifestyle. And then there's also a way to taper down medications. Now, I don't deal with medications, but I do have a schedule for tapering down medications that you can take to your doctor and say, doctor, I'm working with this therapist, and this is the protocol that they say to taper off sleep meds, and you work with your doctor to do that safely. And then we also talk about relaxation techniques to help you when you're tapering off sleep meds, because that is usually a high anxiety provoking time for people. They know that they're no longer going to be able to be depending on those sleep medications.
Right. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. And this is why people, I keep telling that I love this lady, because I love what she does. Because just like me, we are very comprehensive. It's not just one thing, because we know that no matter what you're dealing with, there's layers upon layers upon layers of that's hiding underneath. Insomnia might be the only thing we see on top here. It's only the tip of the iceberg. But down here, there's a whole mountain of stuff that unless we deal with what's underneath, what's at the surface, and we're just putting bandages, So if you're struggling with insomnia, please get a hold of her. And can you tell us, you do have a great resource that I think everyone should put their hands on. So tell us about that resource and where they can find it.
I have a free download. It is the 5 myths about insomnia that are keeping you awake and how you can finally sleep. So I'm not just telling you the myths. We're going to tackle those myths. We're going to tell you the truth. And then this is how you
solution.
The solution, because I'm all about solution, because I know you need to sleep. So I'm not just going to tell you the problem. I'm going to tell you how to fix it. And very soon I will be launching a course on insomnia, because I know everybody cannot come to see me. People are all around the world and people need help sleeping. So the course will be launching soon. But if you download that free resource, you'll get more information about that course. It's going to be a self-paced course that you can do in the comfort of your home for just 5 to 10 minutes a day. I know you don't have all this time. I know you need to sleep now. And in a few weeks, when I say a few weeks, I mean, some people by the second week, they're already like, oh,
I feel difference.
I feel different. And this is not as hard as I thought. And you will have support from me. You will have support from the other people in the course. So you will not be alone. By the end of the course, you will be your own personal sleep expert who will know how to sleep like a baby.
Love it. Love it. And sleeping like a baby is all of us need that. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Thank you so much for all that you do. And just thank you for being such a light in this world. I love you, and I love your work. And thanks again for sharing, this space with me. So together we can empower others to live the full potential, reach their full potential, live a fulfilling life. If I can say that
Thank
twice in a
you.
row, I'll really get a pro, be a pro now. But anyway, thank you so much again. And stay tuned, guys. There's more things coming up. Thank you all for watching and listening, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Thank you.